With so many bands each year trying to crack the US market, will HIM prove victorious, or will they fail?
What happens if they don't make it? Because like now there's lots of fuss about Bam Margera, you know, being in Finland and hanging around with these guys and directing their videos and like and they're really trying to make it big in the United States. But what if the same thing happens to them that's been happening to pretty much every Finnish band? What if they fail?
Many fans in the UK never realised that the band had previously released 3 albums before Love Metal. A compilation album was released to show fans what they'd been missing.
Some of the stuff we've been making didn't come out in this part of the earth, so it's just a compilation album and it represents what we've been doing last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it was good for those people who thought that HIM, the band, started with the Love Metal album, which came out last year.
Razorblade Romance was a great album. Love Metal came out, it's even better. The next album, probably, if it continues along in the same manner, will take them to worldwide acclaim.
Lots of secrecy surrounded the eagerly awaited 5th album, Dark Light. Veal was quoted as saying that the band was inspired by the works of the film composer Angelo Badalamenti.
Tim Palmer is producing this. He was mixing already the Love Metal, and Ville and him get along very well. So that's why Ville chose to record this new album with him. And they did it in the LA Paramore Studios. And actually, Andy Wallace was about to mix the album, but it didn't work out. So Tim Palmer was taking over the mixing job as well. Actually, in the Jimi Hendrix Studios, Electric Lady, yeah. And we were up there in Jimi Hendrix's old flat, where we had our listening party for record company, where Jimi Hendrix used to live. And people in the studio are telling stories that there's still the ghost of him around.
The last album, whilst Love Metal was more, if you like, better produced than Razorblade Romance, the edge was still there, the sort of hunger still sounded like it was there. I hope they don't lose that with future recordings. It's a very slippery slope to go down, and quite an easy one to go down, because obviously, you know, money makes a difference at the end of the day. If they keep that same hunger, then, you know, the success should continue.
HIM continues to woo audiences around the world. But what is it about the band that's given them such longevity?
It's pretty much the same thing that makes maybe a guy called Robbie Williams so big and so good on stage. Like in HIM, there's like lots of they have black and white sides on that stuff. Like Ville Valo, he's like the bad guy, but at the same time, he's like this. When he gives interviews, he's like really smart, and you know, he seems like a great guy, a guy that maybe my mother would get along really, really well.
HIM have managed to successfully combine commercial rock music with an element of goth, and it's something which is new and exciting to fans. There really isn't anyone else really out there like them.
But when you open up the next, you know, rock magazine, you see the same guy drinking red wine and, you know, smoking cigars on stage, looking really bad. And I think that's the thing that makes that band, you know, so unique.
Ville's lyrics, they are very, very special. It's like poetry, and it's so many people can attach to that, and so many people feel, you know, their feelings, or they can like express their feelings through the lyrics. And then of course on top comes the music. You know, the fans are very important for him, and the fans are very special with him because they're really fanatic. That all makes a good cake.
The Finnish rock scene continues to be influenced by HIM music. So what effect has that had locally?
Demos. Every day we have one demo, and we get lots of demos from Finnish bands. And sometimes I hope that a band called Him would have never even born, because maybe 40% of all the demos that we get, they sound a lot like Him. And we got lots of that type of band right now in Finland. I think it wasn't like that in 1995 or 1996 when Him was starting. Even Ville Valo was playing in a band that sounded like Primus, and it was like progressive and stuff like that. But because of the success of Him, I think it's really popular now to make that kind of music in Finland. And yeah,
Him probably have opened up the door for a lot of people. They've certainly opened up the door for Finnish rock music, and it's a bit of a sad thing in this industry. If one particular band comes along, then most of the record labels will look to that same area, either geographically or in terms of musical genre, to sign similar sounding bands. So with Him's success will come other bands who either sound like Him or are very much aimed at the same market.
Nowadays, even the people out of rock business in Finland take rock business seriously. They see that it's okay, a Finnish band can make it, and it's Ville Valo is a household name among 40, 50-year-olds too, and Him is a household name, and so that's maybe the major impact that they have, the most important one.
It's been over a decade in the making, but finally this Finnish musical tour de force is poised to set the world on fire. And with the band now in full swing and ready for continued success, Him are in complete control of their future.
I've got plenty of ideas, but I just don't have the slightest idea what to do with those ideas. So I definitely need the time.
I think they're gonna be around for a long time, because the one thing that too makes that band unique is the fact that they have had this, self-confidence on what they do since the day one, and I think that really can be, heard on their first EP, that can be heard on their first album.
Because we've done 4 albums and 1 EP, and that's a lot. And actually, now listening to the compilation, I realised that we're like AC/DC, we're doing exactly the same thing over and over again with different producers, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it would be nice to do something fresh.
And if you have that kind of self-confidence, I think that makes a band so tight and so unique that those guys can do whatever they want for many, many years.
Ville is the front man. The rest of the guys are in the background. They do seem to be happy with that. I can't see any massive argument taking place. They just seem to get on really well. They've always seemed to get on really well, and they just seem happy with making the music that they're making.
Bands like Him, I think they've moved slightly with the times. They've moved to a more commercial sort of approach to their music. They've probably got a long future ahead of them.
And I think, that is one of the kind of the recipes for success, to be happy with what you're doing, to be happy with the music that you're making, and as long as it continues to make you happy.
Maybe Him is second of God. First is God, next is Him.
So I think Him was lucky. They just did it at the right time with the right song.
Yes, I'm very proud.
Anything like that. I'm saving my money for to get a cottage in the countryside of Finland for my parents. It'd be lovely, like with the lake, and we could sort of like go to sauna and like swim bit and stuff like that. That's very Finnish, and that's what I really like. So